has a question from Richard.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you, Luang Por, for your talk this evening. As part of mindfulness, last night you were saying if one has the misfortune or to suffer, be it illness or what have you, one should try and understand what led to that in the, I suppose, the karmic sense. A good example might be when Devadatta, hurled a rock at Buddha and hurt his leg, and I think he referred to some event or some karma from a previous life that might have been associated with. In my profession, we use the science of causality, for different purposes, to do with diseases and so on. But it's very limited, and it certainly doesn't go back into past lives. So what kind of method would you recommend for the investigation of causes and conditions?
Well, I'd say probably 99% of people, even Buddhists, are not going to recollect past lives or be able to explain if they've got some illness or injury, where it's come from in terms of past karma from a past life. You're not going to know. But then that doesn't matter. The important thing is, how are you dealing with it in the present moment? That's the place of practice. Even if you did have some recollection, in a past life I did something and then now it's come back to me as this particular problem, you still have your main place of practice is in the present moment. What are you creating out of this pain, if that's what you're experiencing? So say you're ill and you have pain. How are you dealing with that mentally? It's that kind of suffering that the Buddha was really teaching to deal with, how to let go of the craving, the attachment in the present moment. So the cause from the past life is not so important here. It's more, are you bringing up the mindfulness as you're experiencing your illness or injury? Are you reflecting on the impermanent nature of painful feelings? So say you have painful feelings, that's something to investigate. Use mindfulness and the reflective quality of the mind to look at it and learn from it. So much of our suffering is we're working on this level of concepts, me, I'm ill, I'm in pain, and in our memory kind of keeps that going, doesn't it? So you might have a painful experience to do with your illness or your injury, and at times it might be quite intense. So you say, this pain is so terrible, but then the memory forms, I've had this terrible pain, and that becomes who you identify with, or what you identify with, who you are at that time. So I am someone with pain, okay? But if you bring up some mindfulness, maybe you can start observing that pain and you say, but this pain, how constant is it? Is it always really intense, really bad? Am I always suffering with this pain, or are there times when it fades from my awareness? And you'll notice, saying you're ill, you're lying in bed and you feel lousy, you have various unpleasant feelings, discomfort in your body, say. If you bring up the mindfulness at that point, establish awareness in the present moment and ask yourself some questions. Where is the pain? Because sometimes you say, my whole body is on fire, I'm in pain. But maybe it's limited to certain areas, and you're just assuming in your mind, your imagination and the attachment that forms in your mind is, I am in pain. But maybe it's actually only a few parts of your body that are actually in pain. Maybe there's other parts of your body at that very moment that are not in pain. And if you put your attention there with mindfulness, which you may have learned through meditation, maybe you notice, there's part of the body that's feeling quite neutral, perhaps. Or you might focus on the pain itself, wherever it is in your body, and you might notice, well, there's periods where it's really intense, and there's periods where it seems to fade right down to almost nothing. Or there may even be periods where that pain disappears, and you're thinking of something totally different and not noticing that pain at all. But all the while, your memory has been saying to you, and you've been attaching to this memory, I am ill, I am in pain, and you tell your friend, oh, I got so much pain. And of course, some of the time that's true, but there'll be times when it's not actually correct anymore. And mindfulness will start to reveal some of this to you. You see the inconstancy or the changing nature of feelings, of your thoughts, of the memories. And a lot of people get insight in this. They realize, when you say I'm in pain, what you mean is there are painful feelings that are arising into my awareness from time to time, and they also pass away, and there's times when they're intense, and there's times when they're less, and there's times when they disappear. That's a more accurate description, but we tend to just identify at that time with, oh, I'm ill, suffering. I'm speaking from experience here. I've been ill and had pain in my life as a monk many times, and you just notice how you latch onto it, and that becomes who you are at that time, even though maybe there'll be times when you're ill that you actually feel quite okay for periods during that illness, but you're stuck with this label you've put on yourself, I am ill. So it starts to affect how you walk and how you talk and how you think and how you relate to other people. And for a period of time, you say, I am the ill person. If you're a monk, I am the ill monk. If you're a husband, I am the ill husband. A wife, I'm the ill wife. A child, I'm the ill child. And we add on with our sense of self. We create a sense of self around this experience. Whereas mindfulness is doing the opposite. Mindfulness is starting to disperse the sense of self and just looking from moment to moment at what's going on. And there may well be pain, discomfort, unpleasantness, but it will change over time. And how you relate to that can vary. If you're establishing mindfulness, you may not have to experience any aversion or fear at all. You just know, ooh, it's like this. It's unpleasant, but it's just the way it is. But if you're not very mindful, you lose your mindfulness, you start to create stress, worry, fear about it. So as you practice more mindfulness, you're noticing what your mind is doing, the stories it creates, the ideas you're attaching to, the sense of self you're attaching to, and you're starting to dismantle that, pull it apart a bit, the feelings, the thoughts, the body itself. And so, because the illness and injury is quite challenging to us, it can be the time when you really learn the Dhamma and see the Dhamma. And many people have found that.
Thank you, Sadhu Lungpo.
Okay, we have Upo from Colombo who's got his hand up. Upo?
Sadhu. Ajahn, I have a question. This morning, our family went to a alms giving home, and when we returned, when I drive back to my home, there was a monk standing by the road, and with his bowl, with the barefoot. And I stopped my vehicle and I bowed down to the monk, and I saw and I asked from the monk whether I buy a slipper for him, and the monk said yes, and I went back to a shop and I gave him, I bought a slipper, and I offered the slipper, and he was so happy. And then I my wife actually invited him to come to our home and to offer a dana. Then he came, and at that time, I think he had already taken dana in the morning, and he refused once he came back to the home. And I offered some drink, and he drank. Then he gave a Dhamma talk, and during his Dhamma talk, actually, the Dhamma he gave little bit contradictory to the what I am listening. And he, in his Dhamma talk, he said that all the Theravada and the Sutra and all the Dhammas written in the books are nonsense, and meditation is nothing to do with the Buddhism. So something like that. Then in my mind, actually, I was trying very hard to keep my mind calm, and I behave. I imagine the Buddha.
We've lost you, I think.
Yeah, we lost him. I think he may come back to Lumpur.
Oh, well. Well, there's many monks out there, aren't there? Some, many are very good, and some are still learning, and some maybe are a bit confused in themselves. So you just have to accept that. When you listen to teachings, try and listen with an open heart, open mind, establish mindfulness, listen to the reasoning, the logic, listen to the mood, and so on. And, you know, sometimes we hear good Dhamma, and sometimes not such good Dhamma, and we just have to accept that, like everything in life. So try to forgive the monk, don't be too angry with him, don't hold it against him, but maybe also learn a lesson that perhaps that monk needs to go away and listen to the Dhamma more, or study and practice a bit more, perhaps. You know, I haven't met him, I don't know him, but sounds like maybe he's still needs to train more and practice more. So just accept that. If you offer dana to a monk and you decide the monk doesn't know much about the Dhamma, it's still good karma, isn't it? You're offering some food to another human being, helping them, and monks quite often don't have money, although a lot of monks do carry money. But you're just offering dana, and you can focus on that, giving another human being a meal. That's the good in the situation, isn't it?
Thank you, Sadhu Lumpur. Upo, if you're back, you can raise your hand again. If not, we'll move on. Cheryl is next. Cheryl, can you please unmute yourself?
Yes. Hi Lumpur, I have a question. So I've been, when I met you in Singapore, I shared that I wanted to practice 1 hour daily. And I think for the past week, I was experiencing some challenges and obstacles, and I just find that I just have a lot, so I stopped practicing, and there's a lot of resistance and inertia to begin again. And I think I'm really just struggling to come back to practicing and sit down to meditate. So yeah, I just wanted to see if there's any advice.
Well, maybe you have to start small. So if you've sort of gone through a period where you couldn't bear to sit meditation or listen to Dhamma or something, maybe you're finding it difficult. So perhaps just make a resolution. Well, I'll just listen to 10 minutes of Dhamma, or sit meditation for 10 minutes. And you just start small and try and do that every day, and see if you can do that every day for a week or a month or a period of time. See if you can get into a good habit, and then after a period of time, if you've established a good habit, then you can extend the length of time you listen to the Dhamma or meditate, and you just work upwards like that. And, you know, we all have to, it's like exercising the body, isn't it? You say you used to do running every day, 5 kilometers every day, and you're really good. and then you have a whole period of 6 months or a year when you stop running, then, you know, the first time you run again, it's like, oh, your legs feel so heavy and you just got no energy. So you just take it slow and you say, okay, today I'll just run for 1 kilometer and I'll just see how I go, and I'll try and keep that up every day, and then you build up from there. You know, many things in life are like that. You start slowly and you build up on it, and you just try and see what you can achieve with your state of mind, current state of mind. Okay, I'm not very inspired at the moment. I'm out of practice. I'm resistant. I'm stubborn. Just pick some small starting point. And one reflection that will help you is a reflection on death, the uncertainty of life. This is what the Buddha said. You know, remind yourself, this could be the last day of your life today. How prepared is your mind? How peaceful is your mind? How much Dhamma have you understood in your mind right now? Do you still have unresolved issues, you know, with other people? There's some anger with other people. Is there still some anxiety? Is there still lots of distraction and confusion? Be honest and say, oh, if I was to die today, how good would it be? Where would I be? You know, where would I be reborn? What kind of death would I face now if this was the last day of my life? To arouse some energy and say, I better use this time while I have it, while I'm still young, energetic. Put some of this energy into the Dhamma practice rather than, you know, frittering my life away doing things that are maybe not that useful, or just vaguely useful, but you really use your time while you have it. Time is precious, isn't it? Our time in this world is precious, and it's so easy to just let it just drift by day, not really doing much good for ourselves or others. So see where you can lift your effort up a little bit more, but start small and then work up from there.
Lampo Upo is back. Upo?
Can you hear me, Lumpo?
I can hear you, yep. You were just telling us about the monk at your house.
Yes, yes, Ajahn. I'm really sorry. There was a power 2 hours. We got a power disconnection every day with the Sri Lankan situation. Now I'm really sorry about it.
Yep, this is the Dhamma. At the moment, we know Sri Lanka, you're having some trouble with the economy and the running of the country. So that's the Dhamma. That's what you have to learn from. Power cuts. We have power cuts here in the forest too. Sometimes the power goes off all day, all night. You just have to put up with it.
Yes, Ajahn. Actually, what I was asking, but I actually tried to stop my thoughts, thinking bad about the monk, but I was very happy with the monk, and I offered what I have, and I was so, but I was listening to Dhamma talk about 1.5 years actually. That is against my belief. I was very calm and quiet listening to my talk, and I was kept very quiet, and but I have a curiosity whether in any merits or it really help, and is it something similar to giving dana to a monk, monk? Is there any similar kind of meritorious act by giving to a dana to a monk, behaving like that way? That is my first question. And there's another question. I'm sorry, because these days
Maybe just leave it there because you're breaking up all the time. So I'll answer that first question because you're breaking up. I'm not sure I'll be able to get your second question. But you know, if you, as I said earlier, if you offer food to a monk and it turns out the monk is got wrong view or confused, you still make some good karma because you're sharing food with another human being, helping another human being. Maybe that's what you have to focus on in the short run, rather than the negativity of being disappointed that the monk maybe has wrong view or speaks in the wrong way. But you can also learn a lesson, and the Buddha said we should offer dana where it makes us happy. So if you meet a monk and you offer dana and it's not making you happy and you're becoming annoyed with the monk or critical of the monk, well, maybe you have to look for some other monks and you just learn a lesson. You know, I assume that monk came to your house for one day and then off he goes. Maybe you'll never meet him again. So that's the end of it. But if you do know monks or sangha that you have faith in, well, just keep following them and going to offer dana to them, listening to them, practicing with them. You know, you have the choice to find the teachers and the monks that bring faith to you, and that's your choice. But in life, you help people. There'll always be some people who turn out to be different than you thought. You may help someone, it could be a lay person or a monk, and you help them, and then they turn out to be very aggressive or confused or got strange opinions on things. That's just part of life because everyone has their different karma and we can't always know ahead what someone is like. So you just have to make your mind strong and not let it knock your faith or damage your faith in Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, and just say, well, this individual, maybe they still need to practice more. So you just understand their limitations. It's like here in the forest, sometimes you get a injured bird and you put your hand down to help the bird and pick it up because it's injured, and then it pecks you and hurts your hand. It's like, okay, you learn a lesson from that.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Now, Paul, we have a typewritten question. Do we have time to just take the quick question?
Sure, yeah.
Okay. The question is, can conventional coexist with the ultimate? Do you need the mundane to realize the supramundane?
Yes, you do really, because our starting point is we're unenlightened individuals learning the Dhamma. So at the very least, you need to hear some Dhamma, talk about the Dhamma or read the Dhamma, and that's conventional wisdom, isn't it? You use the convention of language to communicate the Dhamma. So even if you went to see the Buddha, he would give you a talk using the conventional language of Dhamma, words. And then we also have conventions such as precepts or offering dana, or even meditation is convention in the sense you have a person who sits meditation, watches the breath, contemplates impermanence. You know, we begin from a place of mundane or ordinary understanding of reality, and you just have to start there. But the Dhamma that you hear or read is pointing to the ultimate reality, and it's helping you to understand how to practice so you train your mind to witness or know ultimate reality. So the mundane leads on to the super mundane or lokuttara, the higher Dhamma. But you start from one, and it helps to reveal the other two, gives you the tools, give you the concepts to practice until ultimately you can see the ultimate or know the ultimate reality. So the Buddha said, say in terms of right view, you have the mundane right view where you understand about karma, good karma, bad karma, and you hear the Dhamma and you hear about the practice of meditation and keeping precepts and reflecting, samatha, vipassana, all the terms. It's mundane right view. But then lokuttara or ultimate reality or super mundane right view is where you're knowing and seeing craving arising and passing away, seeing it as impermanent, as not self. And ultimate reality is seen without words. It's just knowing the way things are. clearly without delusion. Oh, the things are like this. If you attach to the idea of self in this body as a self or belonging to a self, you'll suffer. Ultimate reality is seeing through that and knowing this body is not to be attached to, because it's a collection of elements which you can't ultimately control or make do what you want. So if you know or see ultimate reality, you experience ultimate reality, the conventional reality dissolves or disappears and your mind is free from suffering. But it doesn't mean to say you no longer can use conventional reality. So the Buddha lived in the world and he still had robes and he had a bowl and he collected food and he taught Dhamma and he gave talks. So he's constantly using the conventional reality, but his mind was always with the ultimate reality because he experienced Nibbana. So they work together. Ajahn Chah used to say it's like oil and water in a bottle. So the mind of the enlightened person, you know, they have water, like a bottle has water, has oil, and they separate quite naturally, but they're in a bottle together. So conventional reality and ultimate reality live side by side in the world. It's only the person who's trained and completed this path will be the one who actually knows ultimate reality or sees it.